The second thing we do is a more strategic thing, which is figure out how people rank in terms of their reputation. So who is authoritative on a particular topic, who's doing well, who's doing badly. And that allows you, and that's often done from the perspective of an established brand or an established reputation, and it's to do with your brand positioning. I want to be known as a green auto manufacturer. How am I doing? And that allows you to measure how you're doing, because you can produce a network map of how the conversation's going and who is authoritative and do they believe in you, because if they believe in you, they'll talk about you, and that makes you a little bit more authoritative. Mathematical process called citation analysis. And that allows you to measure your reputation and to manage it to some extent. You can't force people to like you or rate you or respect you, but you can act in a way that might make them respect you, and then make sure they know that you've acted in that way. So it doesn't, you can't lie in this world, but you can help people to understand better the truth about yourself. Now, you asked me before we started talking to talk about what's exciting and interesting at the moment. So I'd say the things that are really interesting at the moment, we're in the measurement business at Market Sentinel, that's what we do. But customers often come to us because they're trying to be proactive and they're trying to get the message out about something they've got, a new brand, an issue they want to manage. And everybody's trying to solve this question of how you communicate with this social network world, this MySpace, this Facebook world. How do you connect with people, in other words, coming back to your connected marketing idea? And there are there's no kind of like one answer. It's really interesting in a way, because I mean, we were talking earlier about this, and you were saying, you know, you were a little bit skeptical about people's ability to do it, brands' abilities to do it so far. There are very few things that have been proven to work. But I compare it to the early days of TV advertising or something, and you look at those TV adverts now and you go, how crude, how stupid, why on earth would anyone want to buy a product having seen that person who's obviously an actress saying that she washes her kitchen using ultra bright, whatever it is. You know, so people are figuring it out. That, you know, that's not to say that all brands are being crude and stupid, but at least some are being, you know, somewhat less effective than they should be in this. What works? Well, I think there are three things that we've seen recently that works, that our customers have made work. One was, there's a chocolate bar called Whisper, which was discontinued by our customer Cadbury a few years ago. And ever since it was discontinued, a bit like Doctor Who, there have been people out there in the wilderness going, bring back Whisper, we love Whisper. Why did you get rid of Whisper? It was fantastic. And a few months ago, they realised that they should maybe respond to this, and they wondered how they should connect with these people. And various ideas were considered, such as, you know, going in there and maybe setting up a place for people to talk about how they like Whisper, and, you know, a website or a message board, or, you know, creating something online. And we were measuring these campaigns and seeing that they were just organically building. And our advice to them was, don't try and do it yourself. It's happening already. And that's kind of what happened. They eventually had the sense not to try and interfere, just to back off. And eventually it culminated in a stage invasion at Glastonbury, the Iggy Pop show, where somebody held up a Bring Back Whisper banner. No PR was involved. Believe me, there was a PR company on the case. They had nothing to do with it. You know, it was spontaneous. So spontaneous online things work beautifully. How can you create spontaneity online? Well, it's hard. But customers of ours really talk about various things, connecting through having some kind of platform which allows you, when it's appropriate, when you can be useful, to talk about your brand. That could be corporate blogging in some cases. Creating assets that are useful to people that can be passed on. So there's a lot of talk at the moment about widgets. I guess that's the most recent incarnation of the viral idea, you know, the viral video and so on. In general though, listen and respond, and as we talked about before this conversation began, understanding the community and going out amongst them and measuring what they're talking about and understanding that and figuring out on a more or less a daily or weekly basis, how can we add value? Whether it's by creating a community, whether it's by interacting with existing communities, whether it's just having a strategy for that, like Dell have done and really turns sentiment around. Those are kind of the clues to how people should use what we do so as to be effective and to connect with the consumer and make a reality of this idea of community marketing, connected marketing, call it what you will.